We used to have election night in this country.
Right.
People used to be able to stay up late, maybe past midnight, but you used to have results to elections, and you know who won. But because of the very liberal voting laws, California in particular, so not only can you cast a ballot on election day, but as long as you have a postmark of that ballot, they have to wait until 2 weeks later to get all those in before they can actually finalize the election results.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Con Carroll. Con, Kamala Harris is struggling down the home stretch of the election. I think that's fair to say. And so are some of the down-ballot Democrats that are aligned with at least what she used to stand for, with progressivism. That includes Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon, who is also struggling, right?
Yeah, so this is really down ballot.
Way down ballot.
It's a local race out in California. But I mean, District Attorney of Los Angeles County, that's a big deal. This is a George Soros-funded prosecutor who in 2020 earned Kamala Harris's endorsement. This would be after she dropped out of Iowa because her presidential campaign fell apart. But she was still senator of California. That's still a big deal. And so she was one of the first big statewide people to endorse him, which was big at the time. Fast forward 4 years, and he's very unpopular. So basically, he has decided not to prosecute a lot of crimes, mostly drug offenses, but also he sends a lot of young offenders through rehabilitation, violent offenders. So there one famous case where a guy who, when he was 16, didn't actually pull the trigger, but helped arrange for and provided the weapon for the killing of a young Marine. He is then, because of Gascon's policy, instead of being tried as an adult, he's tried as a juvenile. He serves 1 year in a detention facility, is then paroled into a halfway house, and then like 2 years after that, he kills again. And this is happening over and over, like we have in DC here. When you don't prosecute teenagers for carjacking, you have a lot of teenagers doing carjacking, so carjackings are through the roof. So in very liberal, progressive California, this guy is 30 points behind his Republican challenger. A Republican is going to win in Los Angeles County. Crazy. And again, this is all because of policies which Kamala Harris endorsed at the time and put into practice as Attorney General of California. And so voters really should pay attention to this. It's like, do you really want a woman who endorsed this man and his policies that have led to this crime wave in Los Angeles that even very liberal Democrats in LA are saying, nah, we're voting this guy out of office in favor of, again, a Republican?
Election night in 2020 was fairly anticlimactic, and that we did not have well, it depends. We didn't have a resolution of the election on 2020 the way that you would normally. There would result in some sort of speech, even if it was at 2 a.m. And we're potentially in a position to experience that again this election day. Why is that? Why all of a sudden is that becoming a fact of political life?
Because of the Democrats. Basically. No, we used to have election night in this country.
Right.
People used to be able to stay up late, maybe past midnight, but you used to have results to elections, and you know who won. But because of the very liberal voting laws, California in particular, so not only can you cast a ballot on election day, but as long as you have a postmark of that ballot, they have to wait until 2 weeks later to get all those in before they can actually finalize the election results. This is a policy choice. Florida by law says, no, we are announcing on election night. And it's something easy you can do. And basically you say, look, you can request a mail-in ballot. We will send you a ballot. But we have to get it by election day. If it comes the day after, too late, you should have mailed it sooner. And so then it also mandates that the counties have to count their mail-in ballots as they come in. So instead of waiting to election day, Florida's already counted millions of votes already. So that way, when the elections close, by that night, we can get results. So Florida has done this, Georgia has done this, other states have said, no, we want to have the results on election day. Other mostly Democratic states have said, no, we want to make it super easy to vote. But then you don't have results on election night. I don't know about you, when I talk to most normie people, I have kids in sports. and they find out what I do. We talk about politics. What they always want to know is, will we know election night? And I have to tell them, I'm sorry, like unless it's like a really big landslide either way, we're not going to know for days.
Is mail-in voting still as prevalent this cycle? I mean, or
oh, it's more so. Mail-in vote and
early vote. But early votes,
yes.
we will know on election day, right?
Right. Well, it depends on the state when they're allowed to tabulate them.
What are people supposed to make of delays in these strategically important areas? You know, how can people have faith in the system when in Maricopa County, for example, in Philadelphia, like only in specifically Democratic strategic swing states, we're seeing these delays? You know, how do you trust the system?
It's hard. It's tough. You know, when the law specifically creates this delay, this area for mischief to happen, of course people are going to start thinking something's going wrong. And it does look fishy, it does smell fishy, especially when it's a policy choice. There are other policies that exist that you can implement so that this specific problem doesn't happen. And Congress should step in and pass a law, force everyone to do the Florida model, and we should make election night great again.
Sounds like a great plan.
Thanks.
Con, thanks so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Con and the rest of the commentary team at WashingtonExaminer.com.